Hi everyone. Good evening. Uh, I'm Vrijraj and I'm Google developer expert for web technology and Firebase. And I also am organizer for GDG Jalandhar community in Punjab. And in this live session, I'm going to talk about web essentials. So basically, I'm going to talk about basically what is a web technology and how what is a basic core basic fundamental of web, and then we'll go to the like types of web development strategies and technical stack we can use for development. And the third one is for Google developers products you can use in your like you have a web applications and you want to enhance your web applications, so you can use advanced web capabilities. So let's start it. So first part is website. So basically, what is a website? Website is a collections of web pages. Each web pages can be considered as a or contain like made of pictures, music, video file, audio file, and so many. And each website have their specific first page, which we call as home page, and each website have their specific URL. For example, google.com or gmail.com. You can make your website with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So where HTML provide a structure of your web pages, and you can use CSS for designing your web pages. And if you want to implement some functionality uh, like security purpose, or you want to scripting purpose, you can use JavaScript. And the second part is web browsers. So you can use web browsers like I have a web pages. I have created a web pages with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I need to view the web pages. So there is a browser. So browser is a software. You have to use a browser where you can load or like load your web pages, or you can access your web pages, or you can display the web pages. So basically, in the market we have browser. There are a lot of browsers like Chrome, Mozilla, Safari, Opera. So each browser have their specific rendering engine, which will handle to load the web pages. So basically, if I talk about Chrome, so they have Blink is a rendering engine, and inside Blink there is a separate rendering engine for JavaScript. They are using Chrome V8 engine, which is written in C++, open source rendering engine. And similarly, if you're working on Mozilla, so there is a SpiderMonkey as a JavaScript engine. Or if I talk about Safari, there is a WebKit engine. And the third one part is server. So you can use server to serve the data. For example, I have created a web pages. Now, my web pages should be accessible to any devices with the help of network. So I need to create a server. Server is basically is a kind of system where I can add my web pages, and from the network I can access the web pages. So basically, server is used to serve the data from the network. So server is a kind of computer which is designed to process a request and deliver a data to the another system. So in the market, like if you are working on a web technology, so basically you have to work on basically three web servers. So first one is web server. So basically web server is responsible for sending or receiving a web pages over the network. For example, whenever you are accessing a website like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, so you are requesting to the server to like I need a web pages. So web server will be responsible. And for web server, there is a HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol we have to use. And the second one is you can use email server for sending or receiving a mail. For example, if you open your Gmail, so if you want to send a mail, so there will be an email server or receiving a mail. So email server works on basically two main protocol, SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and you can use POP, Post Office Protocol. And the third one is file server. You can use it. So we use file server for sending or downloading or uploading a file over the network. So like if you these all server can be considered as a combination of like entire web applications. Like for example, if I open a Google Drive, so first I need to access the web page. So web server will be called. And then if I want to upload a file, so then there will be a file server. If I want to share a file, So file sharing through the email. So there will be an email server. And if I talk about web server in the market, like we have Nginx, Apache, Microsoft IIS. So like if you are working on Node.js, you have to work on Nginx. Or if you are working on PHP, so you can use Apache as a server. Or for .NET, you can use Microsoft IIS. Similarly, in the market, we have database. So database is a simple term, is a kind of software which is a collections of information that is organized in that way so that it can be accessible, manageable, and update you can easily. So like database is a kind of software where you can upload, like you can store your data so that it can be easily accessible, manage and update all type of CRUD operations. So like in the market, we have two type of database, structured database and unstructured database. So you can go for the structural database. For example, we have a kind of schema like structural database is also called as relational database, where we have a structural data. For example, we will store a data in terms of table, like we have rows and columns, and that database is really organized way so that it can be easily accessible to all the users. Like we need to just call the queries and that's all. So if I talk about structural database in the market, we have mostly you have to work on MySQL database. And the second one is you can go for the unstructured database. So basically unstructured database is unorganized data, it can be textual or non-textual data, or maybe human generated data or machine generated data. There is no schema, like data like field may be changed depend on the time. So you can go for the unstructured database if your requirement is changing as per the time. So as a unstructured database, you have to mostly work on MongoDB database. And yeah, so like I have a knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and website, browser, and server. So if I want to start my career as a front end developer, so basically front end developer is a kind of job where you have to work on front end side, like you have to create a web pages or user interface in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you have to interact with them. And in simple way, front-end developer architect and develop the website and convert the data into graphical user interface. Like simple in this image, there is a girl who is designing a UI with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Like first you need to load a web page, and then there will be a sign in page, and then if the user is signing in successfully, so you need to show the dashboard page. So this kind of UI UX you have to design as a front-end developer. So, like if you want to start your career in front-end development, so mainly you have to work on core languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These all are the fundamental for web technology. And then you have to work on frameworks and libraries. Like you can go for the Angular, which is designed by Google, and you can use Vue.js, which is also designed by former Google employee Ivan Yu, which is open source project and which is lightweight progressive frameworks. And the third one is it's not a framework, it is a library which is designed by the Facebook, React. You can use it. And the fourth one is you can make mobile responsive UI without the help of CSS. If you have less experience with CSS, then you can go for the Bootstrap for making mobile responsive UIs. And the second part is backend developers. Like if I wanted to start a career in as a backend developer, so basically I have to work on web server part, like web server and database. So as a backend developer, you have to work on web development languages like JavaScript and so many languages, and you have to work on database, and you have to work on APIs like REST APIs, or it can be a SOAP APIs. So if you want to start your career as a backend developer, so you have to work on mainly core languages like JavaScript, which is a fundamental of web technology, as I told you. And then you can use for the Node.js, like Node.js is a runtime environment for JavaScript. Like with Node.js, you can run your JavaScript code without browser in your local machine or any virtual machines. And also you can use PHP for making your backend applications, or you can go for the Python or ASP.NET, or like if you have a core knowledge of any of the languages, you can go for the lab frameworks for making that backend logic more strong. So like if you're working on JavaScript or Node.js, then you can use it Express, which is written in Node as an environment as a Node and written in JavaScript. And similarly, you can go for the Django, like which is written in Python, or you can use it Flask, which is lightweight framework. And the third one is Rails. There is a language Ruby. So Ruby on Rails. This is a framework which is written in Ruby language. And the fourth part is Laravel. You can use it CodeIgniter or Laravel. So which is written in PHP. So as a backend developer, as I told you, you have to work on database side. So mostly you have to work on MongoDB or MySQL database. And also, in the market, like we have a job like full stack developer. So as a full stack developer, you have to mainly work on as a client side development, or you have to focus on server side development, like front end plus back end. So in the market, like we have two types of jobs, mainly like mean stack development or non-stack development. Simple is fundamental like A and R. So like if I talk about mean stack development, so we have Angular as a front end framework and non-stack of React as a front end framework. And yeah, so this kind of feeling like I have a knowledge of like I can start what my career as a front end or back end or as a full stack development. So like up to paisa hi paisa. So now I'm going to talk about Google Developers product. Like this hackathon is happening on 21st and 22nd. So like you can use these product for making your applications more fast, and this will uh, increase your uh, development speed. So like I'm gonna talk about PWA to Chrome developer platform. Like I know this order is different than you have seen in your day-to-day life. So there are few technology in web which you can use for making your web pages or a website high scalable, high performant, and accessible to all of the platform, like any platform. Like you have, if you are working on pages or a web platform, so it should be accessible to all the browsers. And then so first one is I'm going to talk about web pages or a website versus web apps. So basically, website is just like as a informational kind of things. Like we have a Wikipedia, and we can use Wikipedia as for the information purpose. Like I just need a query, and I can get the details about specific XYZ things. So website is just like as an informational thing. And web pages is a kind of website plus additional features in terms of like we have a functionality like login page and the personalized content, or maybe other features like button like for interactivity purpose. So like as I told you, like we have a website, web pages, or you can enhance your web experience with the help of PWA. Like I have a website, I can convert my website as a native applications. Like it will look like as a native applications. Suppose you have a website, you can install your website into your native mobile applications. So this is a kind of features we called as PWA. So PWA is a kind of web application that can be installed on your system. Like I open website on my Windows or Linux machine, and I can download or install that website as a applications. And one of the best thing about PWA, like it works offline when you don't have internet connections. And also, you can easily convert your PWA with desktop progressive web apps. You just need to click on plus symbol. There will be a pop-up. Yeah, just you can download it easily. So there is a desktop PWA, which is very easy. You just implement PWA. And also, like I have created a PWA from of the website. Now I can convert that PWA into Google Play Store. So yeah, so oops, this is one of the developer who are working on mobile platform. I need to work on core. native languages for making mobile applications. But I'm a web developer. I can easily make my website as a native applications so that it can be accessible on mobile devices. And also, this is a concept of TWA, trusted web activities. So, for example, you have heard about OYO Lite. So, this is a TWA, which is basically mean a simple way is a PWA, which is if we have converted that PWA into TWA, and then that TWA is uploaded into Google Play Store. So, if you want to know more about TWA, how we can make TWA, you can visit the link mentioned in the slide. So it's look like as a yay to cheat hai for the mobile developers. Like I have, I can easily make mobile applications. So overall, with PWA, you can enhance your user experience via offline support, push notifications, and many more. Even you can install your PWA for the desktop, and also you can upload your PWA on Google Play Store by making TWA. So again, in simple way, these features is look like as a पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. So after PWA, I think you will feel like this. मुझे और भी सीखना है. So let's design a website blah blah blah.com something. Oops, loading. It's loading, and it still is loading. So sometime whenever you are whenever the user got frustrated, look at this guy, your website is loading, and what you will do, you will leave the website. So in general case, mostly 53% user will leave the website if it takes more than 3 second loading time. So for enhancing that loading experience, you have to work on JavaScript, CSS, and HTML part. So you need to optimize the JavaScript part, you need to optimize your code, and you have to optimize your framework, like unnecessary code and all. And then our condition is look like as a web developers, like I have to work a lot of things. So that's why AMP came into the picture. Like AMP is an open source project for creating a super fast web pages. It's a web component framework. Google is using AMP to quickly serve the web pages over the mobile devices. These all are the example for the AMP like Google is using. So you might have seen this before in your day-to-day life. So with AMP, you can create a AMP website. As I told you, like you can create a super fast web pages as compared to the standard web pages. And the second one of the best thing about AMP, you can go for AMP stories. You can create an Instagram type of a story. One of the best thing about AMP story is like it, which is platform independent. Like you can share that AMP story via URL, and just you need to open the URL in your web browser, and that's it. For example, I have an Instagram story, so I can share the Instagram story to the Instagram user. That's it. Like for accessing Instagram story, I need to install Instagram applications. And the third one is you can go for the AMP email. So AMP email is a technology. So you can make interactive email. Like within an email, you can add a element like rating button, actions button. You can do that with AMP email. And the fourth one is you can go for the advertisement AMP ads. So with AMP ads, you can create easily fast and beautiful high performance ads that will support across devices and distributed pattern. So AMP has a three core component. First one is AMP HTML, AMP JS, and AMP caches. Like AMP HTML is a modified version of JavaScript code. Like for example, we have in HTML we have image tag. If I talk about AMP, we have AMP-image tag, which is a modified version of JavaScript. Oh, sorry, HTML. And second, you can go for second component is AMP.js, which is a JavaScript library, which implement all the best performance and practices and manage the resources loading over the pages. And third one is you can go for the AMP caches, which is basically cache the AMP pages so that your AMP page make faster. So how we can create a AMP pages? So for creating a AMP pages, first you need to add amp as an attribute in HTML tag. And second, you can go for you have to import amp.js library in your web page. So this is a simplest example. This is a code snippet for a normal standardized HTML. So like we have a HTML element, and then I have added amp as an attribute, and then in the head section I just added amp.js library, and that's it. So to know more about AMP, you can just visit the link amp.dev. Here there is a very easy documentation, and you can easily make your or you can convert your website into the AMP pages. So like as the hackathon is going on and you have an idea and you wanted to implement a lot of things, but you will confuse like how to start and what type of technology you have to use. It may be like you are confused of related to a database or as a backend language or a front end framework. So somehow you have decided the things like database and security and front end part and backend logic. Then you have to write a code, lot of code, code and code. And then there might be some issue related to security, code implementation, or managing the database, or making it easy to accessible to all the user. So then there is a unified platform or a solutions you can use Firebase. So what is a Firebase? So Firebase is a web development platform that provide developers to build their applications with high quality and scalable applications. Even you can grow your user base, and also you can earn more benefits in terms of users. You don't need to manage the infrastructure like business logic. Fiverr is providing a lot of services. You just need to use that services in your applications. Simple way, like you have to mainly work on front end part. Firebase is providing business logic as a services. You just need to use that services. So that's why Firebase mission is to help the developers succeed. So one of the best thing about Firebase, you can use Firebase in multiple platform. Like if you are working on mobile platform, you can go for iOS or Android, or even you are working on Flutter, you can use it Firebase. And the third one is for web developers, they can use easily Firebase. And the fourth one is for C++. And if you are working on game platform, you can use it Unity. So Firebase is providing a lot of services. So Firebase is divided into three main categories of tools, which with specific goals. First one is build better applications. So build better applications is it helps you to build better applications by making complex coding process easier. Like suppose if you want to implement a authentication page in your web solution. So first you need to make your backend applications. You have to write a logic for sign in and sign up page. But Firebase authentication is providing a lot of services or functionality. You just need to use that functionality and you can easily implement that all services. Or you can use Firebase as a hosting. Like I have a web page and I can deploy, or I can uh, like host my web applications on a Firebase with the help of Firebase hosting. Or like I need to implement a database, so Firebase providing a database. Like you can go for the real-time database, or you can go for cloud firestore, which is the like NoSQL database, real-time support and all. And also like if you are working on machine learning, so you can easily work with machine learning platform with Firebase machine learning. And you can use Firebase as a storage. Like I have a data like images and audio file, text file. I can upload it on Cloud Firestore. Or you can use Firebase functions for writing a custom business logic for accessing multiple services like authentications, hosting, database at a time. And second one is you can go for improve your app quality. So you can improve your app quality by caching issues early and fixing them quickly. So you can go for crash analytics, performance monitoring, test lab, and app distributions. And the third one is you can go for like the quality of like categories is grow and engage your user. So like you can grow and engage your user by understanding how other people are using it, your applications, and you can engage with them in meaningful way. Like for example, with Firebase, you can trigger a push notification to the user. Like it depend on the devices, like or applications, whether it's web solutions or mobile solutions. So you can trigger a push notification to the user to interact with them, and a lot of things like analytics and cloud messaging, in-app messaging, dynamic links, and so many. So as you can see, there are almost 25 plus different products within a Firebase. You can use it and you can make high scalable and like very fast applications within a, like you don't need to worry about the infrastructure or writing a business logic. So to know more about Firebase, you can visit the link firebase.google.com. And now in the session, like at the end, I'm going to talk about Chrome developers APIs. Like you can use it in your hackathon. So first one is shape detections APIs. Shape detection APIs is you can detect the faces, barcode, or text from the images. S- like to know more about face detections APIs, you just visit the link web.dev/shape detections, and this is very easy. You just need to initialize the JavaScript SDK and all. And the second one is you can go for OTP APIs, like for verify your phone number on a web applications. So like so whenever you got a OTP number as via SMS, you don't need to copy the OTP code and paste it on your web browser. It will automatically catch from the messages. And the third one is you can go for web share APIs. So you can share a web pages on cross-platform applications or multiple platform applications. Like you can share applications on Mozilla XYZ applications, and also you can use batches APIs for adding a batches for quick reminder. So basically, batch APIs is only work for install PWA. So if the user is not install their PWA, it will not work. And one of the best thing about Chrome, like you can implement contact picker APIs. Like I have created a web applications, so I can access your contact details with web platform. So like there is a field I can select like contact number and all. So this is a simplest code. So there I have defined a JavaScript object where multiple is equal to false. Like at a time, only I can select one contact number. And there is a property like I can share the email ID, name, and telephone number, and that's it. Or you can, if you want to share a multiple contact number, you can go for uh, JavaScript array of object. So like this is the kind of feeling like as a hackathon, like if I talk about like if you use these technology, you can easily make your project and solutions. So at the end, this is not at last this is not an end. So like picture abhi baki hai. So as you know, like web has a endless possibilities, and there are a lot of new technology or services within a web, like Project Fugu, Deno, and a lot of many more. Like if I talk about machine learning, there is a TensorFlow.js. So it's totally up to you how you can use these platform and services or technology to make your successful applications, which can be more accessible and performant. And at the end, like in Punjab, like we are almost 7 DSC communities, and GDG Jalandhar is collaborating and celebrating Dev Mela is a 2 days event where we will share the basic knowledge of cloud web, TensorFlow, machine learning, and mobile platform design. So if you want to register, you can just visit the link devmela.web.app. So thank you so much.